Yeah, so hi, welcome to the live stream. It's a bit earlier than normal. I just thought if I'd wait another hour, I'm going to be too tired to go live, so I thought I'd do it at 5 instead. Yeah, so yeah, welcome. Just give it a few minutes, as it is a bit earlier, an hour earlier than usual. Just give it a few minutes. Sorry for the not very good background as well. I would have preferred to be more straighter and more, but yeah, I just have to make do with what I have available. So. I prefer it more neat and more, but yeah, it's not gonna. Don't like this bit, this gappy bit. But yeah, yeah, this message is so beautiful that it's like it surpasses everything else. So my preference is for neatness and order and straightness and like. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. So yeah, I'll just start then. So yeah, so I'm a bit earlier than normal, but yeah. So I haven't got a title for this one, so I'll just have to speak and see what comes out, and then maybe edit the title after if it needs it. It's really loud. Hi. So what we think we are isn't who we are. Non-duality is illuminating that. It's pointing that out. That the story we think we are, the narrative we think and believe we are, the narrative that's playing isn't who we are. So the narrative of someone, I'm Luigi, I'm from Italy, I'm a plumber, or whatever it is, whatever the narrative is. I have a dog, I have a brother, he's more famous than me, or whatever the narrative is. That isn't, that is felt to be who we are. We as humans often live the life of that narrative. We're hypnotized, we are melded to that narrative of someone, and we're living that. We're living the ups and downs of that, the hurdles of that, the challenges of that character, invested in it, believing there's a positive outcome, and our job is to find that outcome, to find that positive happy ending, making that life successful in the world. But that is a life of suffering. To solely identify as that character, to fully believe and feel as if you are that character, to be melded, that's the right word, melded, melted, smelded, attached, joined to that character, as if that's who you are. And so non-duality is brutally, beautifully pointing out that there is an alternative to that. That there can be a breaking of that identification with that character, with that storyline. It's a pointing out of something else that's gone unnoticed, or that hasn't been like, it's like opening a window, and that window hasn't been seen before. That there is a way out of that, a way off of that train. There's a window on that train. I can see a train moving now in a window. Yeah. So, yeah, non-duality is just so beautiful. It's showing a possibility other than that narrative, other than that storyline of someone, a prison of someone. It's showing the window out of that delusion, out of that dream, out of that suffering, out of that prison. And that is the most compassionate thing. That's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful offering, non-duality. It's such a beautiful window or subject. Just think about all the other things that seem to be offered in this world for help. And all those things are on the train. Yeah, you can go to therapy. Yeah, you can I don't know, resolve some of your traumas. Yeah, you can become better at, you know, whatever it is you're lacking in. You can do that. You can get a better job. You can you can do all these things on the train of personhood to improve that experience, improve that journey. But non-duality shows the way out of that. I think that's so beautiful. It just shows the way out of it. Oh, that's so lovely. It's so lovely. Yeah, it's so lovely. Everything else seems to be on that train. And some of those train stations are great. They're helpful. They're, you know, useful. They have a relative truth to them, and they're beneficial for the human to learn about, you know, human stuff. But it's like non-duality is like there's a window right here. There's a window. There's a window. And it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. People say, oh, it's dangerous because it's maybe it's because it's going too fast or something. And that analogy of the train, it's too dangerous doing that. Like you need to go to these different train stations and you know, see this thing and do this thing, and yeah, those things are good for the human and beneficial as well. I'm not disregarding those things because I feel like I've been helped by those different things, but non-duality, like it really is. It's the most compassionate. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's freedom. And yeah, the human needs to grow up and mature and all of that. But it's freedom. You can't beat freedom. So what is this window then? What is this window? What is, what is this window? What is this window? What? So this window is simply a pointing back to, you could say, this, pointing back to what is actually happening, pointing back to this immediacy of what is. I'm so quick to return to thought, to refer to thought, to believe in thought, to give thought that the realness and the truth. Hypnotized by it, hypnotized by language and thought and meaning. And the person's like, thought is like, I can't go there because what will happen to me? I'm vulnerable. If I drop my knowing, if I drop my meaning, if I drop my framework, reference points, I'll be vulnerable. And that will feel true until it doesn't feel true. And I feel like without saying this is how it has to be, just the way that it appears here, I feel like until that is seen, until the insecurity actually and the nature of that way of being identified to that person is seen for what it is and seen for its quality, like the limitations of that, the suffering of that. Until that's seen, that then there'll always be a reliance on it and a trusting of that, as opposed to changing over, like resting back into that which isn't limited, that which isn't the known, isn't the personal. Because it seems as if that person's been the one that's been trustworthy, the one that you can depend on. But it's never really been true. That person is the problem. And it has its good intentions and it has its meaning and all of that. Like it wants to do well, it wants to be happy, it wants to, means well. But it is actually the problem. It is the one that's suffering. It is the one that is unhappy. It is the one that's seeking for happiness, trying to find happiness, trying to solve its problem. And it's convincing that it will be the one to solve it, it will be the one to find happiness. It will be the one to find presence or find this moment. It's convincing. But it's not true. It's never true. You can never find truth in thoughts. Never find truth in stories, in meaning, in feeling. And so going back to that train analogy, yeah, it feels like the window on the train is opened. It's opened. I mean, analogies do kind of don't work in the end, but just stick with it because I like it. So maybe the window's opened and the person's trying to get out the window, But this actually feels more like the person stops trying to get out the window and it sits back down on the seat. It sits back down on the seat. And the train's still moving, chugging along, whooshing along the tracks. And there's still all the smells and the scenery and all the commotion and people nudging you as the train bobs along. I love being on trains, it's so cool. So yeah, the person sits back down, all that commotion still going on, and the windows open and the light streaming through onto the train. The train's moving. The train simply moving. Chug, 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 chug. Woo, woo. Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful analogy. I like that. Mm-hmm. Tickets, please. And you hand your ticket over. Thank you. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's. So yeah, you're welcome to ask any questions in the chat. Andrea, when did your person fall away? Okay, so sticking with the train analogy then. I feel like once there's that sitting back down in the seat, so you've done all the rushing up and down the, what's it called, the alleyway, whatever, carriageway, the, you know, go up and down the carriages, you've gone to the food bit, looking through all the windows, the doors, toilets, you're banging the overhead lockers, you're talking to people, asking them questions, you're getting your map out and you're doing all this stuff, planning your journey, you're on the internet, you're trying to get out the window with all your tools and things, and when the window opens and there's the light shining through and the fresh air's coming through and it hits you, and there's a dropping of those tools, and there's a sitting back down, dropping back down into the seat. And there's simply a recognition of something else, that's something else is recognizing something, or that has woken up. It's this looking, this stillness that's just simply here. It's just simply here. And so you still hear all the people on the train, baby crying, people walking past you, train still chugging along. It's all still happening. The scenery's changing out the window. It's all still going on. But like something else has become apparent. Not apparent to you, but it's become, something else has like stepped forward or been revealed beyond that activity level. And so the person falling away, oh, hang on. Yeah, it just becomes not irrelevant. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense, or it doesn't It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't compute in some way. Or maybe that sitting back down is the person falling away, and so therefore it doesn't compute because it's not really about the person. It's about this. It's about this. This this beingness or this stillness. This that is. Does the ego self still come and go, or largely stay in the background, or has it gone completely? It's a similar thing. I have to really, like, not create a story about it, but I have to, it's like it's for one, it's not known. Like, it's not known. But I think I would ear towards saying that there is an ego, there is a character here in this expression. There is still an ego or a character or yeah. And yeah, I suppose it appears and disappears. But it's not the point anymore. It's not the point anymore. Like, yeah, like I can think of before, and like when you are lost, identified as that person, that is different to the person appearing and disappearing in this. It just feels it's just different. Because the person can appear, the character can appear, the ego can appear. But it's appearing, but it's not important anymore. I can't explain it. It's not important anymore. It's not who I am. It's not it's an appearance. It's not relevant anymore. When you identify, that is who you are, and it's like it's important and it's real and it's consistent and it's you're in this time bound limited experience. It's different now. It's like the person appears, but it's not it's not it's not it's not it's not an entity. It's not a person. It's not a person. Like it's yeah. It's hopeless explaining it. This is a part of life. It's a part of functioning, but it's not. It's not. It's not who you are. It's so funny. Sorry. Oh, that was a terrible explanation. Sorry. um. So yeah, it hasn't gone completely, but it doesn't need to go completely. It doesn't need to. That's the point. It doesn't need to go completely. That's the point. It isn't who you are. It isn't who you are. It's like it's just actually a welcome thing. It's just part of this. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when you get into this subject, you have this imagination, or maybe you hear or interpret it that way, but you think the person character needs to not be there, and you're trying to kill the person, but it's not really about that. It's not really about that. It's this yeah, it's so beautiful and mysterious. Yeah, it's not about killing the person. It's about who are you? Who are you? Yeah, it's not about killing the person. Um, maybe the spiritual freedom. What? Yeah, maybe the spiritual freedom. How is often intended is another illusion of the person. Maybe the spiritual freedom. How is often intended. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know. Kevin, you might have to rewrite that or something or explain. Thank you. I comprehend more and more how it might be. You don't feel located inside the body anymore? No, 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 no. Think back to before. Did it feel like that in the body? Yeah, I suppose it felt like you were this small person, like a narrow person. Yeah, no, no, yeah, no, it doesn't feel like you're in the body anymore. Haha, loved your laughter. Do you feel you're living from a higher perspective? Higher perspective? No, not higher perspective. What does it feel like? Living from, oh, whatever it is, it's beautiful. Living from, it's not higher, it's living from a expansive, whole, um, limitless, full, naked, vulnerable, open, love. Yeah, these are the words that come. Um, sorry for my English. Oh no, I didn't get what your question, what you were trying to say. Lovely explanation, thanks. I'll try again. Maybe the spiritual freedom, how it's often intended. Spiritual freedom is another illusion of the person. I'm not sure what you mean by spiritual freedom, how it's intended. I don't know how it's intended when what you're referring to. I don't know how that's normally intended. Uh, freedom to me means limitless. It means expansive. It means freedom. Yeah, no bondage or yeah, no limitation. Yeah, Was your realization of the self spontaneous? How did it happen for you? Spontaneous. Spontaneous meaning, like, spontaneous meaning happened out of nowhere kind of thing. Spontaneous. As opposed to what? As opposed to planned or something. I don't know. I don't know what that means really. How did it happen for you? I don't know. It happens. It happens the way it happens. I don't know. It just happens the way it unfolds and the way it happens. You can like try to put down a track of what happened and this happened and narrow it down and say this and this and this and this. But it's, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Life happened. This body was created and formed, and it began to look, and this body was seen, and this life was seen, and the parent and siblings were seen, and these thoughts began to appear, and yeah, it all just happened. Experiences happened, and yeah, feelings happened, and thoughts happened, and expectations happened, and routine happened, and it all just happened. And a longing happened, and a wanting happened, and heartbreaking happened, and crying happened, and pain happened, and joy happened, and questioning happened, and confusion happened. It all just happened. I don't know. I don't know. It just happens. It just happens. Life just happens. I mean, you get in bed at night and you turn the lamp off, and it just happens. It just happens. And then there's waking up in the morning, and thoughts appear again, and the room and the body and bed, and the imagery begins to form, and it just happens. It just happens. Yeah. I'd be a fool to say how it happens. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But not knowing isn't a failure. Not knowing isn't a lack. It isn't a lack of knowledge. You just see the limitation of knowing. You see the untruth of knowing. For me too. As opposed to a gradual experience. Oh, you mean like instantaneous? Yeah, I don't know. I'm missing a person who I'm missing a person who I'm not in contact with right now, and it makes me feel the apparent separation even more, wanting to transcend it even more. And it makes me feel this apparent separation even more. It's painful to feel separated. Yeah, it's painful to seek, to feel like you're missing something and to seek. Yeah, it's very painful. It's very painful. Yeah. Excuse me. Feels cozy. Mm. Mhm. Okay. Thank you, lovelies. Lots of love. I'll see you next time. Bye.